viewers, welcome to my video. Today I want to talk with a Japanese young boy or student, whatever you say.
Yeah,
He's Nagiya Yamauchi.
Yamauchi, yeah.
Nagiya Yamauchi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
I want to know actually the Japanese young generation thoughts about their country, about the foreigner, and also about the world, what they are thinking. First, I want to know
Mm.
uh, about you,
Mm.
how you grew up, where is your born place, and about your parents.
Okay. Okay. So maybe I should talk about myself at first, and I will talk about how I grew up
Yeah,
in Japan.
yeah.
So my name is Nagiya Yamauchi. You can call me Nagi, and I'm 21 years old. I'm gonna be 22 years old this year, and I'm fourth grade Shizuoka University student, and studying education, especially social study education. And right, and no. So I'm doing Compass Shizuoka, which is like international organization and help foreigners do daily things and study languages. And then I will talk about how I grew up. Maybe like since until I was a high school student, I was quite normal high school Japanese student, who are just so innocent about the world and didn't think about the world so much. But after graduating from high school, I failed to go to the first AM university. Then I started to think about myself and about Japan and the world. Like I tried to study abroad in America, but because of the coronavirus, I couldn't go to America, and that's why I studied Compass Shizuoka. Like I couldn't go abroad, but I realized there are like so many foreign people in Japan, living in Japan, and they are sometimes in troubles and have like racism and criticism by Japanese people, and also I found that they don't have so many opportunities to interact with Japanese people. Yeah, that's why I studied Compass Shizuoka. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. You are doing so many work besides your study.
Right.
So, especially, I want to know Japanese people are little bit weak in English.
Yeah.
Even in senior citizens, they maybe don't like this
Yeah.
language also. But you are very good in English. How do you learn it, and when you start to learn English, and why?
Right. As I told you, I started to study English after graduating from high school because I was like really embarrassed in university circle, international circle. Like lots of foreign students can speak so many languages, like English, Indonesian, like Vietnam, like like French. Like almost all Japanese people can't speak English, maybe because of educational system. So I started to focus on my speaking training with online English classes. Uh, the the service I was using is called DMM Eikaiwa, which is like the biggest Eikaiwa online Eikaiwa thing in Japan. So I just started from non-native course, the cheapest cost, and to talk with non-native speakers like people from Philippines, people from Russia, like that kind of countries, like every day. Like every day I got 25 minutes lesson. Then I studied Kompa Shizuoka, and I got more opportunity to speak English. And also, at the same time, I started to date my girlfriend, like British girlfriend, and almost all the time I communicate with her in English. That's why I could. I,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you are very fluent in speaking, maybe than the others.
Right, right.
So you are doing some social work, some
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
volunteer work, as you said, like
Mm.
Compass.
Yeah.
So what's the motivation to do this work? You are doing this.
Right. So maybe at first I wanted to just help foreigners, and I wanted to make a multicultural, multinational community in Shizuoka City, because there are so many, there are many, there are some countries community, like you're from Bangladesh, right? It's like Bangladesh community, Indonesian community, Vietnamese community, but I thought we can just gather and talk and know each other more. So I wanted to make the community to make people combined, like connected. And also, maybe after failing the university exam, I just wanted to change myself. Maybe like I wanted to challenge things through the social work. But like after doing that social work for about two years, I found my motivation is to make people happier here. Like not only foreigners, like maybe, but also Japanese people. Like after, like by making people combined, connected, both of them can be happy. And like for example, Japanese people can know other cultures and the foreign people in Japan. They don't have to study abroad. They don't have to go abroad, right? So maybe that's my motivation.
You say the Japanese culture, about
Mm.
Japanese culture, about Japanese people, beliefness, social culture.
Yeah.
So I heard from a class of my class that the sensei said the common sense of Japanese is
Mm.
the lack of common sense of the world, and the common
Uh,
sense of the world is the lack of common sense of the Japanese. That means Japanese people are unique because the world wants no common sense
yeah.
is the lack of common sense Japanese. It's very important sentence to me, and I encouraged to learn the uniqueness of Japanese. And
Right.
we also, other world also believe
Mm.
Japanese people are unique
Mm.
in the world
Mm.
for
Mm.
their workaholic
Yeah.
nature and for their gesture, posture, and their politeness,
Yeah.
and so many activities you
Mm.
make difference
Yeah.
from others. So, do you believe so?
I I believe so. Yeah, but it's in a good way and a bad way, like both ways. Like if I say in a good way, maybe Japanese cultures are so unique. Like I went to like some countries like Vietnam, Malaysia. After that, I realized Japanese cultures are like sophisticated and unique. Yeah, like it's not there. There is like no country which has cultures like Japanese cultures. It's like I think Japan can be really attractive and strong for sightseeing like place, and that's why more and more foreigners, more and more foreign tourists are coming to Japan now. And if I talk about the bad thing about Japanese common sense, and I can pick up some problems, like you said, workaholic, or maybe like gender index. Yeah, I heard that Japan was, I don't know, located in like 120th grade in Japan, in the world, like lots of advanced country like the UK, America, like they are like top, around top area, but like LGBTQ people are a bit difficult to live here because they have I had they have experienced like discrimination against them. Yeah, and also women's cannot get the higher post in the company so easily. So maybe some parts are so like extremely disadvantaged from the world standard, but in some parts Japan has good aspects. Yeah.
So it's actually the blending of a society, some bad, some good.
Yeah.
But world know Japan is really a workaholic and most
Yeah.
polite country.
Yeah, right. Pride is
Yeah,
in a good way.
it's a good feelings when people come in
Mm.
Japan.
Yeah.
They get the good feelings
Yeah.
about Japan.
Yeah.
But who live long, they feel some streaky rules.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
many rules. So it's maybe difficult for foreigners
Mm.
and also Japanese also to follow the rules very strictly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you said the Japanese bad or good things. But nowadays it is very alarming, and also the government also worried, and
Yeah.
Japanese people also may be worried
Mm.
about their population.
Population. Yeah.
So the population is degrading,
Mm.
and government announced already some package
Yeah.
to increase their population.
Yeah.
So in young generation, especially I read some survey.
Mm.
There I got some comments, some
Yeah.
results from the survey that young generation don't want to get married or don't want to get child. Is it true? As a young uh, man, what you think?
I I can't say young generation don't want to marry and they get children, because lots of my friends or lots of my like acquaintances said they want to marry and they want to get children. But I think that the decreasing of the population is because of the value, the change of the value. Like Japan used to be a country like people think marriage is really good for them. Like marriage is the best thing to in our life, and getting children makes us happy. But because of the changes of the world, like it's really unstable, right? Because of the corona, the pandemic, the war, the the price getting higher, right?
Yeah,
In Japan. So some people think they can't afford to let children go to school or cram schools, and getting having children and raising children is much trouble for them. And also lots of women started to work, and lots of families can't afford as long as the mother and the father, both of them have to work. So maybe that's why. Yeah.
you according to your comments, it means the life expense is going
Yeah,
high,
yeah, being high.
and it is difficult to maintain a family. That's why it's difficulties to maintain a
I
family,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that's why young generation don't like to take the risk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take the risk. And also, we didn't. Maybe people from the previous time didn't have choice. They didn't choose to. They didn't choose not to have children. Like it wasn't a choice, but we have that choice. Like we can choose to have children and raise a children, or not to have children, because we don't feel the social pressure. You know, we have to choose have the children, make the children, right?
Yeah.
So it's, I think that the social atmosphere is really important to our make, making decision. Yeah.
So it's I also heard from my some of my friends,
Yeah.
Japanese friends, or some other people that uh, it's also difficult to make a relationship nowadays because the thinking of the girl and thinking of the boys are
Yeah.
not going to be similar, and they are totally self-dependent, and it's difficult to make a relationship, to maintain the relationship, and the maintenance of relationship it's also become expensive.
Yeah.
What
Right.
do you think? Is it difficult to make relationship, boys and girls nowadays?
I feel it's more difficult for them to make a relationship. Like not only like boy and the girl, or like nothing, I don't know. Yeah. Not only the romance, but also like friendship. I think it's because of SNS, or like social networking system. Because when I was like junior high school student, that was the time smartphone was released from the Apple, and at the time we didn't have some like smartphones. Like you had the class, right? You are in the class. Like 50% of students was having like iPods, right? Like that kind of like, it wasn't smartphone, and not so many students wasn't want using social networking apps. So we had to talk, right? We had to make effort to have a relationship face to face, right? But recently, students can talk through SNS like at night time, right? And they don't have to make effort to maintain the relationship in the class or in school. So that's why they start to lose the ways, right, to interact with people. And also, especially because of the pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic, we didn't have so many opportunities, chances to see people. Like when I became university student, that was the first year of pandemic. And from the first year, we didn't have any face-to-face class. Like we just had all of online classes. So maybe because of two reasons, like SNS and then the pandemic and things, it's more difficult to have a relationship.
So due to corona
Mm.
and the effect of smartphone,
Yeah, yeah, smartphones. Yeah,
maybe the society culture, young generation culture
yeah,
become changed.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not only in Japan, maybe all over the world. The
Yeah,
young
I think
generation's
so.
activities
Yeah,
become become change.
Yeah,
They are busy, so much busy.
yes, much busy. And like I have an interesting story. Like when I was a like junior high school student, high school student, I confessed to my favorite girl face to face. Like I just went to see her and talk to her, and then I say like I like you and I want to date you. But when I went to school for the teachers like training thing for 2 weeks, like for 3 weeks, I went to junior high school and the elementary school 3 times, and I talked about my story like to students, like you guys have your favorite person, and they are like yes, and how do you like tell that you like them, and they said smartphone, like online with line or like with Instagram. Like okay, like if you like them, like you should tell them like in person.
Mm.
So that was like not know, like generation shocking to me. And like I heard 90% of students in elementary schools like about have smartphones. So maybe like sometimes they are not like brave enough, courageous enough to like tell their feelings, try to make relationships. Yeah.
It's a really great change in the society
Yeah. Yeah.
due to smartphone.
Yeah.
And it's really, if we go somewhere, we see everybody busy with smartphone
Yeah.
by thyself.
Yeah.
Not don't care about surroundings.
Yeah.
And even if you go with somewhere with friends, all friends are busy with smartphone,
Yeah.
not talking with each
Right,
other.
like especially like in train
Yeah.
or in bus. Yeah.
So it's really changed the society.
Yeah.
I think so. It's interestingly, I heard from you that you confess a girl
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
your high school.
Yeah. And
But
also like
yeah, I already know that you have a girlfriend now,
yeah.
British girlfriend. So how you confess to her?
Yeah, that was also like face to face like
This also
confession.
face to face.
Yeah.
Oh, you're courageous.
Yeah, like when I attended Shizuoka, like another international organization,
Yeah.
I like as soon as I saw her, like I thought she's attractive and like beautiful. So I was of course like really nervous to confess, like no, like to like invite her to go on a date, but I was just yeah make effort. Like I just made effort to approach her, right?
Yeah.
Like when I tell my stories, like especially like romance stories, to my students, they were like so surprised, and they all of them said, "You are so like brave. And I can't do that. Like, is it so like difficult for you guys?" So yeah, that's how I met my girlfriend.
Oh, so when you first confessed to her, she was agree or take time?
Yeah, like after having a date, she she yeah like agreed with me. Like she said, okay, let's date. Yeah, like in her like culture, like in the Western culture, because she's from the UK. Like I heard, she took more time to go in a relationship with somebody else, but she was like she's living in Japan. It's like let's try.
I hope in future we'll stay we'll stay together
Yeah.
for lifetime,
Yeah.
and life will be more enjoyable.
Thank you, thank you.
We
Mm.
talk about so many
Yeah.
things, Japan's and world, and finally, I want to know as a young generation thoughts about the world. So many things happening in the world, like
Right.
Russia,
Mm.
Ukraine, the war, and so many things happening around us.
Yeah.
So, what's your wish or what's your hope about
Mm.
the world?
But the world, I think many young generations hope world is more peaceful. Yeah, especially we we grew up in Japan, which is one of the most like
Peaceful
peaceful
country.
and safe country, right? So we sometimes feel guilty to live here peacefully, and we sometimes feel we can do something, but we don't know how to like help them. Like for example, I was collecting the donation, like the money for Ukrainian students who escaped from the country to Japan and who are accepted by my university. Right? When I was raising the money, like collecting the money, lots of Japanese students were really supportive of me. Like I wanted to help Ukrainian people in some ways, but I didn't know how to do it. But you are collecting money, so please like use this money for the donation, like that. Yeah, so I think of course like war shortage, like the pandemic, like lots of bad things, sad things are happening in Japan, in the world. But that makes Japanese young generation conscious of it. Like they start to think about the world more deeply and have more interest about the world and what happens in the world. Yeah.
So I forgot to ask you another question,
Mm.
and that was you already said that you have used to go America for
Yeah.
study, and
Yeah.
as I know, and other people also say that Japanese people don't like to go out of their country. They have no interest, maybe in previous time, and nowadays I heard from so many Japanese
Yeah.
students, especially young generation,
Yeah.
they want to go study abroad. They want to settle their life in the outside.
Yeah.
Uh, why this change in the young generation thoughts?
First of all, like the change is, I think it's true, and the reason I think is that maybe like the society is more open now, especially in urban cities like Tokyo, Osaka. Like as you know, if you go to Tokyo, if you go to Osaka, you see lots of like foreigners
Yeah.
living there and working there. And also if you go to sightseeing spots in Kanazawa, like in Kyoto, you see so many foreign tourists. So we can have more opportunities to get to have interest in foreign cultures, and also like we have smartphone now, so it's really easy to know people living there or like celebrities in the world, you know, or you watch more maybe Netflix
Yeah.
and like through the foreign movies or through foreign cities, like people just think, oh, it's really cool to live in America or to study abroad there. So it's just we have more chances to have interest in the world.
So the internet and smartphone make huge change
Yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah,
thoughts of the
yeah,
people,
yeah,
not only Japanese people, but maybe
yeah,
all over the world.
yeah,
The people mind changes.
yeah,
So whatever changes, but we believe the changes will go to
yeah,
positive sense,
yeah. But
and the world will be peaceful
I
for
think so, yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
So thank you so much
Thank you.
uh, for the time.
Yeah,
I believe Japan will remain a peaceful country in
yeah,
future. The world will also be peaceful,
yeah,
and the young Japanese people make the changes
yeah.
towards positive things.
I hope so. Yeah.
So, hello viewers, thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, thumbs up, comment, and subscribe our channel. See you again.